we should do a very quick introduction around the table. I'm Dave, your DM.
Hi, I'm Murray. I play the character Falas.
I might have just burped into
a little burpey. And that burp courtesy of Dylan,
Hi,
aka Meriss.
I'm Dylan, Meriss Honeysuckles.
It's very on character.
Yeah, hey, I'm Jonathan Franco. Everyone around here calls me Franco. Endearingly, I hope. I play Cass.
I love the idea that there's a possibility that we're calling you Franco for emotional distance.
Yeah, you don't want to get too close to me.
It's just a weird nickname we gave him day one.
You don't name the pigs.
And I'm Isaac, and I play Frostglade.
There's four of us for the first time.
Yeah,
Yeah. 4 of us playing at the same time.
Just the 4 of us.
Were we all supposed to burst into song? Did I miss that cue?
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I'll make sure to pick it up on the next time.
This is why we don't try new things. So we're going to pick up about, let's say, a few hours after the events of last episode. I'll say that Falas, you had mentioned that you wanted to gather together Frostglade and Cass to talk about what just happened. So we'll say that you're out on the outer shell of Torlin. You are actually currently standing in line. There's a food truck that has arrived on Torlin.
Yes.
For Fireslayer Bow.
What?
Of course. Because it was lunchtime, as we established before. It was close to lunchtime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're standing in line. You're near the back right now. It's actually stretching quite a ways past the central bastion. And you have some time to talk. In the distance, you see a sleeping magma droth curled up around the grass. It has its breath coming out is heating up steam underneath these stacked wooden baskets that have been crafted. And at the front, you see a rather joyous-looking fire slayer who's rolling dough, folding meats and everything into these buns and putting it in the stack. And then people are approaching the front and going on. But you have a few moments. Falas, Cass, and Frostglade, what do you do?
Yeah, so Falas is kind of like bringing both Cass and Frostglade up to speed as to what's going on, and he's talking, and every now and then he'll like lower his voice, right? So the first time he'll be like, and then that's when he looks around. Meriss showed that she can do magic.
Right. She did that on Westercast. It was weird.
Cassilas, did you know this as well? Am I the last to find out?
Cass is like a little bit shocked, but like she smiles and she's like, "Well, that's amazing." That sounded terrible.
I thought that was good.
That's amazing.
No, it's
I didn't know that he had a propensity for magical arts.
No, it's not great. And then it goes on and tells like how Lawless like determined that it was like they think that she was possessed and they were going to do an exorcism on her.
What?
That's what I said. And then we had to step out of the room, but Pickles was getting all frantic. And that's when Mr. Oakrey looked through the stained glass window and saw...
Hey, sorry guys, are you still in this line? It's moved quite a bit since you started.
They're going to move forward a little bit. And then it talks about like... Lawless suddenly gets possessed by some demonic creature. We had to fight him. And then he is currently now dead and is waiting to be reforged.
And right at that moment, you hear far away in the background, they're here! Yes! I'm so hungry! It's been such a long day! And like Meriss like runs up and like stops and like, oh, hi guys!
Yeah, so there's that awkward moment when, you know, the subject of the office gossip walks in and everyone turns and looks.
Oh, I was under the impression Meriss was there with us as we were talking. So
No. I wouldn't talk with her right in the... Yeah.
He'd talk shit about her behind her back, but not to her face.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess Meriss is probably way too really excited for this food truck since like shit just went down a few hours ago.
Yeah,
sorry,
well, I guess
no cuts. Hey, you gotta go behind me. Sorry.
Okay. All right. I'll see you up there, I guess, everyone. And then Meriss just like looks over her shoulder, like what's going on, and then like trudges to the back.
Yeah,
of the line.
you're not too far away. There's just this guy between you and the rest of the party.
Yeah, so we just talk around the one guy.
You're saying that that Meriss is currently possessed, or that she were possessed, or that she weren't possessed, and they thought that she were possessed.
The exorcism hasn't occurred, and she can still do magic. And Falas is keeping his voice kind of low as well.
I can hear you. I'm right here. I'm literally 2 feet away.
Good afternoon, Miss. Good afternoon, Meriss.
Well, I feel like we should just address the Auroch in the room. Now, Meriss, I hear that you have become all magical, and perhaps not of your own volition. Is this true?
Yes, this is true.
Okay, that seems like a good thing, though.
Well,
What? Why?
I feel like magic is powerful, and it could be used to our advantage. Yes, or is perhaps
yes. No, I agree, Cass. Thank you, Cass. Thank you. Yes, I agree. But what is concerning is that it wasn't from my own studying necessarily, and that it was gifted or cursed, if you would, from Lord of Change. And
I do see.
This guy standing next to you in line just kind of like does like the look kind of over, and then like just like stares straight ahead, not looking at any of you.
We're having a sidebar over here.
Frostglade puts his hand on the guy's shoulder and just directs him past us in the line.
Go ahead.
I don't see a problem with being able to wield magic, but I suppose I do see a problem if you're some sort of curse, Meriss. How you feeling, darling? I touched the back of my hand to your forehead. She's all right to me.
I'm not sick. I feel okay. I just think that I want to keep these powers because they'll be helpful, but I don't want it to cause problems with the binding. And I don't want anyone to be mad or possibly angry with me. And she just is staring dead at Falas, like she's just looking right at him.
Yeah, he's standing very stiffly, looking like, feathers are being ruffled.
All right. Well, do you feel like it's going to be a problem, Meriss?
If not me, it's going to be someone else here on Torlin or within Storm's mandate.
Well, Falas, do you feel like it's going to be a problem?
Well, you know how I feel about magic, Cassie lass.
I feel like you don't like it. I feel like you don't like a lot of things.
I do have a list in my mind, of course, not written down.
We can compartmentalize that.
Well, in the end, it will depend on what the leaders say. And their first impressions, I'll tell you as much, was not very good.
What the leaders say? Have you been divulging our friend's secrets here?
Well, he told us the story about so this would be really hard to react to, so I'm having trouble with it. But Falas just told us that there was a near exorcism that ended in the death of one of our leaders. Did you guys? So Frostglade wants to pull everyone aside, get out of the line. This whole waiting in line thing is not working for me.
Being in line, okay? This is more important than the bows.
And he kneels down and looks everyone in their eyes, and he says,
Meriss, did you fight Lawless? Oh no.
Oh dear me.
Indirectly?
I do now see how this could be a problem.
Well, you see, Master Lawless, he was possessed as well by some sort of hand creature with many hands. And then...
Oh, well, if both of them are possessed, then I think it's all fair game. That's the rule of the land. Yeah, if the two parties are possessed, then it's as if it never happened. It's kind of like canceled out.
Section 3, Article 4.
Lawless was possessed by whatever this... Its name is Voss. Whatever this creature is. And Okri had to fight it off in the sanctum, in the chapel, along with... Oh God, who else was there?
I was there, Mr. Meriss.
No, I'm just trying to think because,
Meriss.
I'm trying to remember because it was just Okri, I think, and Voss in the sanctum, and then Falas came in afterwards.
Yeah.
And Lawless will come back because he will be reforged, but it had to be done. There was no way to separate there was no way to separate Voss from Law.
Okay.
I will have to revise my opinion of your magical talents, Meriss. I feel like you should perhaps put those on layaway for a while.
Yes, you have to be careful, Meriss. So much is at stake.
Okay. I guess. I'll do my best.
Sweetie, if you can't control it, then it's a danger to you and others around you.
I can control my powers. I can control them. It's not that they're out of control. It's just that this Voss wanted to use me as a mole and as a spy within Storm's mandate, and I refused. And it said that if it wasn't me, they would find someone else.
All right, look at me. Look at me right in the eye.
Okay. Looking, you're tall.
Frostglade is sliding into the screen just beside Cass to also meet your eye line.
Yeah, and then Falas also kneels down.
So there's 3 people looking into my eyes.
My eyes.
It's a little bit more awkward than I originally anticipated, but
Pickles pops up and just like mean mugs you all.
The guy in the line swings over too. He's kind of interested now.
Yeah, he's invested at this point. He's just like, I can't not hear this.
Meriss, do you have this under control?
Yes.
Will people get hurt because of you? The hesitation is not.
but because of me or because of something else that's trying to get me?
Will people get hurt because of this magic? Innocent people.
I don't know.
Well, at least you're truthful, but that's a concern. So what do you think that we should do?
Well, I have to say, at the very least, I'm glad you're still on our side, Miss Mary.
I always was. I never wasn't on your side. And she's getting a little upset here. Like she's she's being interrogated by her friends. She's just happy to be here.
Well, I say that we wrap this up. Here's what I'm seeing. I'm under the impression that Meriss has this mostly under control, and that as her friends, as her allies, as her soulbound, that we should pick up that slack. As long as she thinks that this is the right thing to do.
Okay, get breakfast. We have much to do.
You all turn around and the line has doubled in size since you left.
Son of a gun.
Soul fire!
Yeah, expend soul fire to skip the line.
Okay, well we can star wipe to wherever you guys want to go next. What were you all wanting to do after this?
Who makes the decisions on where Torlin goes, other than Torlin, I assume?
Tequila would be the one probably to talk
great.
to.
Okay, I was worried that we had killed the person who makes that decision. But
it's not Tequila, actually. It's somebody else that has like a psychic link with Torlin.
You know that Aranius is kind of the keeper of Torlin as well, which is another maybe conversation for you all to get up to speed.
Oh yeah, we need to have that conversation too.
Oh God, what do you guys do?
Okay, so we star wipe. You're all at the front of the line. You're grabbing your individual steamed buns. Do you have a preference as to what you want? There's a menu.
God, you're joking!
Chalk.
No, star wipe again. Continue forward.
You star wipe after all you're ordered. You're all sitting on a bench.
Fun.
Okay, one more, Dave. We're almost there. Yeah.
Wait, you wanted to do a scene where we're all ordering bao buns?
Yeah.
I would love to do a scene ordering bao. Why are you star wiping bao? Bao buns are amazing. What are you doing, guys?
You star wipe to the end, and you all wipe your hands, saying those were delicious. And now you continue the conversation.
I can see why people would wait so long for them.
Frostglade is sulky that he was forced to actually experience all of that. We need to talk.
Let's go find Tequila. Let's get the show on the fucking road.
But Frostglade, you have barely touched your buns.
Frostglade just jams it into his face. It's gone.
Like, doesn't eat it. He just smushes it into the bark on his face.
You turn to go find Tequila, and you see he's about 2/3 through
Shut
the
up,
line.
Dave. Shut your filthy mouth.
Oh my goodness.
I think we are not inviting the Fire Slayers back.
I mean, considering how long the line is, Everybody must be in this lineup.
Yeah.
Isaac hates bow buns, or Isaac hates food trucks, or Isaac hates lines, or all three.
So it's going to surprise you. It's none of those things. Okay, start. So
It's Dave.
Frostglade takes a big step back and crosses his arms and just waits for us to get to the point where he cares about what we're doing.
He's not going to participate until we've gotten to the point where he wants to participate.
Oh, he's a tree right now, so Meriss crawls up him and sits on his shoulder.
Tequila reaches the front of the line, reads the chalk menu. You can see from a distance it says spicy Alapex steam buns, Axian spiced Octar steam buns, Fire Splayer Yoki, and he thinks for a few minutes.
See, Dave prepared all of this. He wanted
how
us.
dare you even think about trying to skip this, Isaac? These are
Yeah.
gold.
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
what
I
I
was
take
gonna,
prepared.
So I won't.
He asks how spicy the Alapex is, and then the Fire Slayer kind of says, it's pretty spicy if you're not used to it. And then he thinks about it for a moment, starts to order it, and then he goes for the Fire Splayer Yoki.
Oh, did he have his wallet with him though?
He's got he puts a few drops onto the till, and then
good.
he pauses, turns back, and puts another drop, and thanks thanks them for doing the order. Then he kind of like thinks about it, and he orders a hot bean water as well, which is promptly steamed via the magma droth's breath. He grabs a nice cup and starts to drink for a few moments. Really enjoys it. Says this is the finest steam bun that he's ever had.
I'm glad Isaac muted himself. I just watched him dying on camera here.
Meriss noticed that Frostglade didn't finish the other bao bun, so she just puts the whole thing in her mouth, and so she's sitting there with chipmunk cheeks, trying not to choke while eating the bao bun at the same time, and it's so spicy she's starting to cry.
Is she like choking?
Not yet.
Okay, no Heimlich needed yet.
Kind of wordlessly, Falas gives her a spare napkin that he had. Just kind of like standing next to her, not really looking, just like, here you go.
Just instinct at this point.
I like that she's just like the child in the group. Like
I mean,
everyone just, like,
realistically,
mothers and
that's
fathers
kind of
her.
how Falas like treats her, like kind of like a little sister type of thing. Like,
Yeah,
but
that's pretty. She's everyone's little sister.
yeah.
Not literally, but
Tequila trudges over in his heavy plated armor. He's got a couple little drips from the bao bun that have kind of like sprinkled across the armor.
What
and
color
looks
are the
all
drips,
good.
Dave?
It's red, obviously.
Is Frostglade basically just humming, like vibrating with anticipation to talk to this guy?
He's probably just like rocking back and forth really slowly, and the rumble in his throat is getting more and more intense.
Oh, hey everybody! How are the buns?
That's as good as Mr. O'Kree said.
Tequila kind of pauses and looks down, like, "Oh, this is the wrong kind." Then he kind of looks back.
Back into line. Yep, Frostglade points at the line.
Yeah, get back in line. Nothing important ever happens.
Hey, get back in line. We'll wait. Not like we had anything important to talk about.
There's a great splashing sound as Frostglade jumps into the ocean. It's been great, team.
he's now going to become a sea tree.
The three of us stand on the edge of the shell with our hands firmly pressed against the side of our heads in salute.
Okay. So the scene is everyone's stomachs are full and we're happy, and breakfast is in the past.
It's really more brunch by now.
It was lunch actually.
It was lunch.
'cause the last
It
scene
wasn't
was around
breakfast.
noon. Yeah.
Love
Yeah.
the details, guys. Please continue this for the rest of my life.
this is just piss off Isaac episode.
I mean, yeah.
Unfortunately, this is the role I play in most groups everywhere, so it's fine. Frostglade walks over to Tequila.
Hello, we have much to talk about. Do you have some time?
Dave's like, no, sorry, I gotta
I'm
go.
really busy.
Yeah, I'm really busy right now. I got to return the steam bun.
Come back after lunch. Yeah.
Yeah. Tequila nods, and he kind of points towards the sanctum of the rear temple where the reforgings take place. Let's talk.
Can we go look at a map?
Oh yeah, sure. Let's go. And you go into the central area where you have that big giant map all set up. It's laid out there, consistently updated with your most recent escapades. If the listeners are interested in seeing what the current map looks like, you can find that on our Discord in the Spoilers Current Map channel. What did you want to talk about?
So Frostglade would point at the quote-unquote hex at Westercast and say,
You know what happened there. We should be closer to protect these people. Can Torlin be moved?
And he points then at the hex where Axian Smuggler Island was found, which is just east of us.
Can Torlin move there?
Yes, most likely. With Aranius gone, we won't be able to do this super cleanly, but we can find some ways to coax her.
Just get a really big stick and a really big carrot. Put it right in front of Torlin.
Until Aranius comes back, this may not be the smoothest transition, though.
That does remind me. Do we know where Aranius went?
Well, to be completely honest, the comings and goings of a night quester are infrequent and often sudden. Aranius has been, leaving the ship with more frequency in the past few weeks. Most recently, I'm afraid I don't know where she went.
So, how do we get this turtle moving then? There's no kickstart in the back, is there?
No, but we can try and at least coax her with some bait in the water to get her to shift. To be honest, I'm not entirely sure how we can do this.
So your entire mobility plan with this turtle and the city on top of it revolves around one person, and if that one person is not here, then we are quite literally adrift in the water.
And that one person's a frontline fighter.
So he goes on to explain that in case it wasn't necessarily relayed, Torlin is a fully sentient creature who is kind of cooperating. It is very intelligent, but the ability to communicate with people is limited, aside from the connection it has with Aranius. So it is possible that they can try to communicate through mundane means, but it is still like this giant, gentle beast that they would need to try and move. Yeah.
Yeah, and doesn't someone have beast handling? Don't you have beast? Doesn't Cass have beast handling? I mean, could she try that?
Dave, do I speak turtle?
Sorry, you only speak tortoise?
Oh, shoot, they're close. The dialects are similar.
You could try.
Yeah, hell yeah, I want to try.
The other thing, though, too, and like, the other thing is that we broke into Aranius's place in one of the last episodes.
But we left no traces that we were there.
Is this communicated to Cass, though?
Well, we didn't.
This has not been communicated to Cass.
No.
Yet.
So
then I don't know.
Meriss looks at everyone, Tequila, Falas, Cass, Frostglade. She goes, well, Aranius did have a spot on the map marked in her quarters, and I wonder if that's maybe where she went. And she's just kind of like staring at Tequila. Did you know that she had grave sand of Shayesh?
What?
Tequila doesn't move, doesn't say anything, and just kind of like, where is it?
We left it at the lighthouse.
I'm sorry. I'm having trouble. I'm having trouble reading the room. Is grave sand of Shayesh a bad thing?
Yes and no.
I'll just be over here until you.
It's not something you would want to find out as just hanging around.
Nobody's going to explain what it is to me. You're just going to leave it
time.
in back hanging in the air.
There's no time to explain.
No time. Get back in line for those buns.
Cass rushes over, bowling over people in her way.
It's essentially like, what is it in the background? Essentially like a realm stone, part of the realm of Shayesh. It's like one sand is like, I think if you use a lot of it too, you can bring people back from the dead, I think.
Yeah, so you can imagine like each of the mortal realms has its own realm stone kind of attuned to it.
Mm-hmm.
And the one of the realm of death is like the realm of Shayesh, is grave sand. So each of these different stones kind of has a different property, and like, the one for Shayesh is a sand-like substance. What they had found, just to kind of reiterate to folks, it's like they found a small compressed cube that is made up of some grave sand. And this was found in a chest in the lighthouse on the front of the island.
I'm so confused. I'm learning so much about people and things today, and none of them seem immediately bad. And then after I ask some questions, they seem incredibly bad. But
I know how you feel,
I feel as if the ability to bring back a fallen ally or a fallen friend is a boon and not a bane.
Well, it depends on the source of this power. And I can tell you this one is magic. Magic of the evil sort.
Ah, yes, and we've established you are not a fan of magic.
It's like that, yes.
So, in my absence, did we talk about the Revenant King at all? Was that ever a discussion?
No.
Okay. Frostglade doesn't actually know a whole lot about that, but he does believe that it's probably the biggest risk to us currently. Whether or not that's true, I don't know. And from what I remember, the other group, you guys seem to do a lot. I go out and fight stuff and come back and it's simple and it's horrible, but it's just like straightforward. And you guys discover so much, so I'm having trouble catching up.
Well, I mean, it was an information gathering episode, anyways.
So that you did.
Like I would say, Meriss would share all of this with them. I'm just not going to do it Meriss's voice. But they did search Aranius's place. They found the grave stand of Shayesh in one of her belongings. They also found a map that had an X on it. And Meriss would have also shared, because it was Aranius that had the dissecting the Idaneth body in her room from when we did the Bosom of Mercy's Bosom ship event. So Aranius knows a lot about the Idaneth. So like there is that spot on the map we could move it to, but I think with what Isaac said about like we could go here first to investigate more, do that, and then like hit up Gromer's Town. Like that's the general like TLDR, everything that happened in the last episode outside of the lawless piece, which we already explained.
Okay.
There's kind of a lot to digest though.
Yeah.
And Meriss has a book that has stuff about the Revenant King in it from an Endeavor? Yes. No.
It's not a bad idea, Miss Meriss. I do have to pick up a boat in Gromer's Town anyways, so we can do it along the way.
And we have to fight this Revenant King soon.
I feel as if there's some aspersions cast upon Aranius here. And perhaps we should be a bit more cautious and prudent in this matter. Decula, perhaps you should just keep an eye on her, or I don't know, search her belongings, or conduct an investigation, or I don't know, whatever it is that you do here.
Well, given the situation, there's going to be a few things happening. I should let you know about this soon. Given the fact that we had a Tzeentchian presence on Storm's Mandate, I've taken the liberty of contacting the Order of Azir to bring in some hunters to root out any type of chaos corruption and make sure that we're safe here. We can't have any sort of lingering influences.
Of course. Sorry, and just to clarify, because that is all that I need today. That will be some form of inquisitor to come aboard and to search through the people and the items on this turtle.
I wasn't expecting an inquisition.
No one ever does. I should also mention we've closed off Aranius's quarters. As soon as she comes back, we're going to talk with her, and if you're around, we'll try and include you as well.
And these investigators, they will be rooting out all types of evil magic and possession and such.
Yes.
Okay, that is good to know. That is very.
I'm pretty sure Dave just fell in love with how he said yes the first time, so he can say it again.
Yes.
Old man, I can't do that.
Very good. And then, this whole time, Cass is just like eyeing Meriss, and she's like wide-eyed, and she's like tugging at her collar,
Time to go home to Brightsphere.
Yeah.
First things first. I think that we should get this turtle on the move, and I'm volunteering to perhaps play the game of charades that we need to play to get this turtle going.
So we'll star wipe to all of you back in line.
There's a lot of star wipes.
You're on the front of this shell of Torlin. You see Torlin her head is kind of plying through the waves of the water. There's a single fin that kind of breaks the surface regularly. You see her scales. They are thick and kind of turquoisey color. and she's kind of like just looking ahead, kind of like as her fins kind of gently, lap up and down. What do you do? What's your plan?
Isaac, how does Animal Friend work?
So I get. Oh, am I muted? No, great. So I get a pose test when trying to convince. I get advantage on a pose test when trying to convince animals, and I also know if anything's bothering an animal. I know what's stressing it. So a little bit of intuitive relationship stuff there, and that's it. I don't have a lot of training, but I do have a decent mind, so I got 3 dice to roll with advantage.
So nothing that lets you communicate, like literally talk to an animal, but it's still good. Okay, yeah. The only thing I've got over here is some beast handling, and it's not terrible, but it's not great.
I mean, couldn't you, like, if you're trying to beast handle, and at the same time Frostglade is like some sort of knowing how Torlin's feeling, you could guide each other with how you do beast handling, because Frostglade's like, I know what Torlin's feeling.
Yeah, Torlin's confused, or Torlin's feeling unappreciated because Torlin's literally carrying the team.
Places his hand.
Quick, catch Torlin.
Places his hand on Torlin. It's afraid. It's afraid.
Exactly. Like, actually, literally. Exactly, though.
Can we step out onto Torlin's head, or is that submerged?
You could do it. I mean, it's kind of going to be sloping down into the water more. So, like, you can imagine, like, as the neck comes out of the shell, that's kind of like, an area where there's like lots of kind of water kind of like splashing back and forth. If you were to swim out to the water and to stand on like almost like the brow of her head, you could do that.
Well, this sounds terrifying, but not for a 12-foot tall tree person. I dive into the water.
Torlin, kind of just from the way she kind of shifts, she notices you, and doesn't there's no like swift movements or anything as you step aboard.
Perfect. Frostglade is moving slowly with great care and deliberation and trying to exude calm feelings and positive vibes. He looks up, dripping wet, at Cass, who's basically just didn't bother to come with him.
No, I was going to say I'm following.
Oh, okay,
I'm following in. Yeah. I make my way over to her head plate.
Okay, so assuming that we've got some sort of eye line to her, Frostglade wants to put himself in that eye line. I don't know if she speaks English, but he's going to ask with...
What is English?
Oh, fantasy Esperanto. What language do we speak as a whole?
That's a great question. So anyways.
All right, moving on. And
Yeah.
so he'd start with his voice, but he'd also do some pantomiming, pointing at the area where we'd like to go, and I would like to roll all of my dice with advantage, if you please, to try to convince her to go. And I hope that Cass also helps and doesn't just start shooting wildly into the air.
Why would you, has Cass done that before? Is that
I can't take the risk. Frostglade shoves Cass into the water.
Frostglade is just fucking broke. He's just snapped.
Yeah.
So yeah, go ahead and roll your beast handling soul, and this is opposed, right? You said?
Know.
Well, what was your talent?
Oh, it's Animal Friend.
Yeah. If it's opposed, then he gets advantage.
Sure. Yeah, let's do opposed since this is a social check.
And I am trying to help in whatever way I can. Maybe talking softly or making movements.
Cass, how well trained are you in beast handling?
I have 1 in training and 1 in focus.
Oh, shit.
It's going to be on 4s, but you're going to have advantage to ratchet it down to a 3.
Ooh.
So go ahead and prepare your dice pool.
Nice. All right. So just for clarity, I'm rolling 4 dice here because, like I said, Frostglade isn't very well trained. I'm going to make it... okay, I was going to say easily. Oh, it's opposed. I'm going to have 3 successes is what I should be saying.
That's pretty good.
Okay, so she only got 1 success.
Take
so
that, Torlin. I poke her in the eye.
That's
Get over there.
That's weird to have that as an opposed test. It's almost like she's resisting,
The way, yeah, I totally get that. The way I kind of picture it is the opposition in this instance is almost just like the inability to communicate.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I get it. It's just funny, the way that
Yeah.
it works out.
I don't wanna.
Yeah.
Assuming she starts moving in the direction that we want her to go in, Frostglade is going to kneel down, and I don't know if she can feel it through her scales, but he's going to pat her gently and make deep, rumbly, happy cooing sounds at her and thank her.
Pigeon.
Cool.
But I was going to ask, how does he communicate where to go? Like, is it in turtle?
He
Like,
points.
is it just?
I mean, the spirit song. I mean, it's internal and magic.
So as Frostglade and Cass, commune with this giant.
Turtle is the word you're looking for, Dave. Turtle.
the immensity of Torlin, the queen of the Leviathans.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of get a sense, Frostglade, through your kinship with animals, that there's a great sense of loneliness in Torlin. And she begins to, make the movements over. You can see her kind of rotate. It takes a fair amount of time for her to make that kind of adjustment, just given the scale of everything going on here. But she begins to move forward, and you can kind of tell that. Now that the orientation is shifted, she will move to that hex you were talking about before.
Somewhere off in the distance, the momentum causes a food truck to slowly roll towards.
Everything on the back just slides off immediately.
That was my only plan with all of this success.
The food truck starts to slowly move, and they're like, "Oh my god, we forgot to put the blocks in." It starts to no, my dumplings!
This is the most important thing that's ever happened on Torland. Through the bond or through the animal friend talent, do I think that this is a loneliness that Sylvaneth or humans or any of the other people on her can help assuage? I'm assuming it's actually probably not. It's probably she misses her own kind.
Why don't you go ahead? I think let's do...
Dave, we're just talking here. You may as well just tell me.
Or maybe she misses Aranius.
It's possible.
Let's see. I think you could do an intuition mind, and I can tell you a little bit more. Intuition mind. Do it on 4s with advantage because you just made this connection. Nice. It's going to go down to 3s. If you can give me 2 successes, I can tell you more.
Oh, big money, big money, big money. Yeah, I got a couple successes.
You get the impression that this is the kind of loneliness that comes from losing family.
Oh,
you should become her new family.
I'm going to.
You should be the new director, replace Aranius, and be the one that communes with the turtle.
I'm Frostglade, and I'm your baby turtle.
You know what? I don't appreciate that.
For those of you guys listening, that was actually Franco making that sound. I know he sounded just like Isaac, but
well, I'm Cass, and I shoot randomly in the air. Gulch and having babies.
Oh my god, we should totally do an episode where we all play each other's characters. That'll be hilarious.
That's quite funny. Frostglade makes a mental note of all of this. Cass, who is with me on her brow, might see that Frostglade, his shoulders slump a little bit as he's got his hands on her brow. Maybe even a little bit of a tear escapes his glowing eyes. And I would stay here for some time just to make sure that she's okay. But, probably no more than an hour, assuming you guys have that sort of patience. Frostglade would remember the mission and would head back to destroy that fucking dumpling truck.
That's the mission. That's why that's why we're here today. Hey there, folks. It's Franco here. I play Cass in the podcast, and I'm here to interrupt you. First of all, thank you for listening. Your feedback's been amazing, and Questward has been something we're quite proud to produce, and it's nice to get that positive feedback. So, if you have a friend or a relative that you'd like to share our podcast with, we highly encourage it. Every time you mention us on social media, or on your Facebook page, or just to a friend, it really helps us a lot, and it really helps to support the show. Speaking about support, we've got a Patreon up. If you care to help us out at all, show some support there, you can find us over at patreon.com/Questward. And while we're on the topic, big shout out to a couple of our new Patreons, Jamie Eden, Nilo Franska, and Ben Murphy. Thank you guys so much. Really appreciate that. Everything that we get from Patreon, we put right back into the show, so your support's super appreciated. Additionally, a big thank you to our big boss patron, Rusty, who's going to be showing up later in this episode as a named NPC. So thank you so much for the support. It really means a lot to us. But that's not the only way to help us out. You can also just jump onto Apple Podcasts and give us a review. Hopefully positive, but every review helps. So thank you guys for your support so far. we hope to continue to bring you great content, and not to take any more of your time up. I'm going to let you go, get back to the episode. Thanks, everybody. Take care.
All right. Sounds like another star wave to me, Dave. Safe and sound.
Okay.
Everything's perfectly well.
Dad, you know there's other transitions other than Star Wipe.
Nothing wrong. Ever happens.
We'll do like a bouncing box transition as it covers
Yes,
the screen.
this is the best
And
one.
you're back in line. It's breakfast. You all agreed that you'd meet up.
Frostglade
for
kills
breakfast.
everybody. I'm sorry, Dave. If we go through this again, I will snap.
Yeah. I think
Is it the food truck again?
Well,
I
different
believe
food truck.
back to the food truck.
So
the next
waffle
thing
food
you
truck.
all were going to do was, I believe, go to Gromerstown. Is that right?
Yepers.
Yeah, let's
All
go
right.
to Gromerstown. We'll decide whether we're going south or north at that point. Like, we can either
Sure.
go south to Wester Cass and the areas around to like clear it out, or we can go north to chase after Arrhenius, or where we think Arrhenius has gone. We can also do a quick kind of information gathering a little bit at Gromerstown, because Gromerstown is
Yeah.
kind of like a hub place. So if we can get clues that confirms that Arrhenius went north, then maybe we'll go after Arrhenius.
Cool. Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Baraka.
Oh yeah, and Meriss wants to chum up with Baraka again.
Why are you whispering?
You're
Braka,
on the
I'm trying to
boat.
make it
You're on-
more.
Yeah.
Wait. Baraka. Baraka. I don't know. Now I just sound like a bird.
Meriss, are
Are
you
you a
okay?
Pokemon?
I did not realize that the possession had progressed this far.
I'm sorry, Pickles. Say goodbye.
We're gonna have to put it down.
Oh, fuck you! and Frostglade finally gets the Mustari he wanted all along.
Yep. That's been my goal. Making a lot of progress today, guys. Got a lot of things to check off the list. Anyway.
You arrive at Gromerstown. You smell the telltale smells of urine and salt. As you step off onto the docks, you hear the wood creaking underneath you. The harbor master kind of lazily look over at you and kind of look back down towards his ledger. Doesn't seem to bother approaching you. And what do you do? Where do you go?
Well, actually, I think it'd be a good idea because, I think that we all know what the goal is here, but what are we doing in town here? What's our
should split the party.
immediate goals?
I hate it here. I didn't actually know what Gromerstown was like. Frostglade has never been here, and you guys, assuming I'm pulling on the oars, he as he finally gets a look at the place, you notice that he's quite taken aback, not super comfortable, and doesn't say hardly anything as he pilots the boat in and holds it steady and all the rest. And he asks basically the exact same question that Cass does.
Why are we here? How long are we staying?
Shan't be too long, Frosty.
One of the reasons we're coming to Gromerstown is just there's a lot of people here that might be able to tell us a little bit more. I'm thinking maybe we can find an Idaneth or someone that might know a bit more about the Reverend King or Reverend Sire. And Braka's here, and she was a really good ally when Cass Okri and I came out here last time. And so if she's around, I'm thinking maybe we could hit her up and see if she knows anyone in Gromerstown that we could talk to more about this.
If you're not feeling comfortable, Frosty, you can keep an eye on the boat and stay around here.
No, I stay with you.
All right, well, I was going to propose that we split the party, and I'll go get the boat.
Ah, fuck.
It's all good. Whatever works. I'm sure there's not going to be encounters or anything like that. It's fine. I'm looking at Dave. He's got the little smirk on.
Are we splitting? Is two people going to go get the boat and then two people going to go talk to Braka?
Could do that.
Sure. I talked to Braka.
Okay, then I
so
guess I'll take
Frostglade and
Cass
Meriss-
with me too. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes. I was at least one of us, Dylan, has to go because
That would
otherwise
be so
there's
funny
two random
if
people.
two other people went to talk to Braka and Meriss didn't get to. Yeah.
No, Braka. All right, Frostglade, do you want to come with me to talk to Braka?
Yes.
All right, let's go. And Meriss grabs his hand.
Falas was supposed to go get a boat.
Yeah, we're gonna pick up the new boat that replaces the Dreams of Sails.
Sure. Who wants to go first?
Go ahead, guys. Get a boat.
Okay, so Falas and Cass. I don't know if you two have actually spent very much time together, have you?
Not a lot.
Not a
We
lot,
did
yeah.
one adventure. This is our second official canon adventure together.
So you're making your way through. Do you have any sort of idea of where you'd want to go?
Well, I would assume that Falas has already traded in, like started the process during the shopping endeavor, right?
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
This is him just picking it up after waiting the requisite time for them to deliver.
We're going to pick up our mail, basically. That's what this scene is.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. You stand in line.
Yes, line
Isaacs
simulator.
have a conniption fit.
This is why everyone plays fantasy RPGs, right?
Yeah, my power fantasy definitely involves buying food, having very slow conversations. Talking to turtles is pretty cool.
In these trying times of being able to roleplay these very normal situations, like you can't stand in line anymore.
Yeah, I super miss it. Please continue, guys. Buy a boat.
So you make your way down to the Cult of the Bloody Heart Savings and Loan Associates.
What?
It is built up on a series of overturned vessels on the side of town. You see a number of ships kind of in dry dock here that are being kind of like torn down and everything. And you see, as you step onto the lot, you see a particularly lithe-looking dark elf step out. She is kind of wearing a conical helmet in dark purple plate, along with a sea dragon cloak that has been fashioned into a blazer and stained red from years of battle.
A conical hat?
Yeah, it's like a cone helmet.
Like a dunce hat.
Yeah.
More like comical. Anyways.
Get her cloak.
And she steps out and kind of looks at you like, welcome back. You came here for the whaling vessel, yes?
That's right. We've got whale to hunt.
Have I met you before? You sound familiar.
No, I don't believe we've had the pleasure, although I would be more than happy to engage in the art of interest payments and making suitable transactions, whether it's blood, soul, or goods and services.
Right, so we traded in the boat last time.
Yes, the
Do we have
dreams
it-
of sails.
Right. So, Cass knows that the boat was basically, a write-off at that point after...
They had there was a bit of rat damage on it.
Just a little bit. He was fast, nudging Cass, shh.
He didn't mention the rat damage before. Well, anyways, your ship is ready for your pickup. Do you have your token shit with you?
Fast rummages through the stuff. He's pulls that out of his beard. It's a little ticket.
Yeah. And it's soaked in blood, and he takes it back and rips it in half. Right this way, and she brings you over. And actually, I'd love to have Falas describe what this new ship looks like.
Oh, okay, interesting. I actually kind of imagine it. What do they call them?
Schooner.
A schooner? Kind of
That's the first thing that came to my head.
So the main thing about the whaling ships I mentioned before is that they have a pointed bow and stern so that you can go forward and backwards on them. So there's going to be a bunch of oars so that you can row. But for whatever reason, I also imagine it to have a bit of an Asian flair to it. And I was trying to think of the name. It's like a gun something, right? What do you call those Asian boats?
Gunson?
I don't know. I was gonna say Gundam, but I'm pretty sure it's not that.
It's a gunner.
It's a Gundam.
There's a Gundam on the ship, I see.
Just you walk past all these traditional whaling ships, and there's just a Gundam standing there on the docks.
That one's not for sale.
But yeah, so it's got a little bit of an Asian flair. So you can imagine the sails is kind of ribbed in that kind of way, and the materials is just there's that different kind of colored wood.
Sorry, Franco, were you gonna make a joke? I saw you had a little.
Yeah,
nervous...
man, I was sitting there. I was like, you know what I was gonna say.
Yeah, I think I know what you were gonna say.
So that's what this boat looks like, and it actually kind of makes sense to me too. Instead of having a traditional kind of sail, which can really only push you one direction, with this kind of horizontal framework on it, the sail can actually probably billow backwards and forwards, depending on how you angle it. Allows for more control over directions.
So what I guess we could name it now, or we could let the patrons name it.
Ooh,
That might be fun.
Yeah.
So cast, if you can kind of give me a list of names, kind of do like give me a short list, and then I'll put that up on the Patreon. And if you're a backer for Questward, you can find that at patreon.com/Questward. You'll be able to vote on the ship's name.
You know, it's good. It's just going to be some kind of Bodie McBoderson name. You know that, right?
We cut back. Meriss and Frostglade. Meriss, you plow through to the Rusty Alapex. It is a 2-story inn located near the center of Gromerstown. It is made from all manner of scavenged ship parts. It's got like the front entrance is kind of the prow of a ship that has like a frame kind of cut out of it. You go inside. Immediately inside, you see there is a big ogre where he's got like this big gut plate made out of like corroded metal, and he's got like this kind of bright red beard that hangs down in braids, and he gives you a wave. Hello there, welcome to the Rusty Alapex. I'm Rusty.
What is this guy?
He's an ogre.
Is he
What does that mean?
Alapex?
No, for real though, what does that mean in this universe? I don't know.
Ogres are like big humans with like full of like fat and muscle in equal measure. They tend to like to eat. They tend to like to fight, and they are often like mercenary in nature.
And are we talking big, like human standard 6 foot plus, or is this like a much bigger creature?
He's a real beefy boy. He probably stacked up about probably like 8 to 9 feet.
Okay, jeez. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Okay,
Yeah.
I've got it.
Also, Rusty is named for one of our patrons named Rusty.
Oh,
Hi, Rusty.
I love Rusty.
Hello.
I'm sorry. I meant I'm to Rusty the patron. Sorry. Go ahead, Isaac. You were starting to say hello.
Oh, that's probably all I had.
My.
That's his go-to phrase.
Yeah.
Hi. I was just wanting to talk to Braca.
Oh, well, I can't really tell you about the manner of who's staying here. There's privacy concerns. I'm sure you
I know she's
understand.
staying here
How do you know that?
because I asked around and got told she was staying here.
Is there a FOIP form we can sign? Like, we'll do it.
Is there an NDA?
Do a guile mind.
Oh, yes, I think I put points in Guile.
Okay.
As we know from our Endeavors episode, I also did nothing but train in Guile Mind.
Do you want to help me?
I don't. Those were lies. Good luck.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember you complaining about not having to use Guile and not having it. Well, I have 4 dice to roll for Guile. What am I rolling on?
Do you get advantage on this?
I'll be on 4s. You get advantage on opposed for your traits or something?
Oh, well, there's so Diplomat, advantage opposed when trying to gauge moves, intention, or lies. So, not
There you
really.
go. I mean, technically you're lying.
Oh, I guess that's true. Well, I rolled 1-5.
Afraid I haven't seen Braca in a very long time. And you can tell if people are telling the truth or lying? Is that the idea?
So I have a gauging moods or if someone's lying or their intentions.
But you'd have to succeed on the check.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I have an advantage
But that's a
opposed.
separate check.
Yeah, you check that if you want.
Yeah.
Like, because you tried to negotiate basically to get it, and then he responds with that, and then you could do your check.
Check
I'm gonna
it.
do
with
that
that
check.
advantage.
I'm
Yeah.
checking it.
Yeah.
Am I just re-rolling again?
Yep, roll it again.
Okay. Is it still on?
On 4s, but you get your...
I got a 6.
Okay, well, that's
I
better than
failed
what he
again.
got.
Oh, okay.
Well, you beat 0. So you notice that as he says that, he looks at the ground and then like rubs the back of his neck and doesn't look at you for a few seconds and then looks back up at you when he's done.
You're lying.
No.
No.
Yeah,
I'm
she's
not.
here. Is she here right now?
Doubt.
No.
You're lying. How about we'll
Yeah.
He's so sheepish.
What room is she in?
201.
Thank
Oh.
you.
I don't like being called on my bullshit.
Thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate it. Hey, Frostglade, let's go to room 201.
Please don't tell anyone.
He's like
I-
twice
I-
your height.
I won't.
Okay. You head upstairs, and I imagine Frostglade creaks these stairs like mad. as you make your way up.
Can he even make his way up those stairs? I mean, I assume if there's a 9-foot in owner, that there's going to be high enough hallways for people to walk through that are 9
It's a fair assumption, although 3 feet is even a bigger differential for someone like Frostglade. But I think you're probably scraping along the walls. Your little branchlets are maybe like kind of, causing some issues with like the decor.
Is it the stairs creaking or is it Frostglade creaking?
Yeah.
Branchlets. Oh.
Knocking
It's
off
true.
like some portraits off the wall.
Yeah.
There's some potted flowers and stuff.
Isaac, why don't you tell us what your character's doing?
No, you guys are doing great. Just scraping the walls clean of like wallpaper
No.
Cobwebs.
and apologizing quietly and constantly.
I'm sorry.
But not really.
Oh no. Oh, I'm
Poor
sorry.
Rusty's like watching him go down the hallway, and he's like, it's like tears are starting to form in his eyes.
Oh no.
Sorry, Rusty.
You make your way up to the 201. The air seems particularly stale here. It's got a little placards that says 201 on it.
And Meriss is going to knock.
And you hear a moment, and then you notice the door kind of like unlatches and kind of opens like an inch, and you see the slit of Braca's eye kind of looking at you.
Braca!
The door closes, and then there's there's like a couple sounds, and then it opens back up again, and you see Braca's like holding like this aethermatic pistol that she would have been holding against the door, and kind of looks at you. She's wearing like kind of like a kimono kind of style robe, and she says, "Meriss, and Tree Man, what's going on here?" Hi, hello.
Hi, Braca. This is Frostglade.
Fuck, whatever his name is.
I could totally see Meriss getting tongue-tied in front of Braca.
Frostglade is part of Frostglade's with me. A part of our binding. Cass is here too. And Falas. I don't think you ever met Falas, but I just how are you doing? It's been a while. I have just one. Could we come in?
And she kind of like looks to like a door frame, kind of like looks back, and you hear some shuffling in the other room, and she kind of looks over like, it's not really a good time right now.
Why?
It's the morning.
Yeah, no, it's barely morning.
Well, it's morning for some of us.
Well, can we talk?
Yeah, we can talk.
Okay, can we come in and talk?
She kind of like pauses again, like, do you need to come in?
It's important.
It's very important, and I'd rather not talk about it in public.
She kind of like lets out a traditional Dwarden grumble and lets you inside, and then she kind of points you towards the complimentary inn like seating around like a breakfast bar.
We empty her mini fridge. Just empty.
Those little tiny vodka bottles.
Yeah.
They're coming with us.
Yes, you're kind of in like a living room that's kind of offset from a bedroom on the other side. And she says, as she points you to sit down, she's just like, just a moment. And then she dips into the bedroom for a moment. You hear her talking very, very quietly for a few moments.
Who's there?
Oh my God, Meriss! Leave people alone! Frostglade says none of that.
But thinks it.
Where are your boundaries?
Oh, she has none.
Yeah.
She got possessed by the Lord of... She has no boundaries. She doesn't understand them. She broke into Narius's room. Come on. Twice.
Braca comes back, and you hear some rummaging coming from the back room, and then she sits down at the table, pours herself a glass of hot bean water, and just kind of looks at you and says, "All right, go ahead. I'm listening."
Meriss is just kind of like staring like at the back room, stares at Braca, stares at the room, stares at Braca, as if like to give Braca a chance to say who's back there, but I'm assuming she's not going to. It's just going to be
after a few moments of you waiting, you see the door actually swing open, and a pair of elves come out, and they're gathering up their things, and they make their way towards the front door.
Good on Braca.
And then you notice Braca has like a smug sense of satisfaction on her face.
Frostglade blushes mightily and does his best to get out of everyone's way as they try to leave, like just really trying to get out of the way.
Yeah, one of them like kind of looks at you, and the elf just she says like, "Oh, new company. And then Braca kind of nods and then just was like, all right. And she kind of waves both of them out and looks back towards you. So, continue.
Meriss, blink, 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 blink. Like it's taken a little bit to register for, like she's not quite understanding what just happened. So, cool.
Huh,
Yeah, cool. So, do you remember, do you recall people are disappearing and Meriss has to like stop for a second because she's making no sense at this point. Do you know of any Idaneth that we could talk to? So why I ask is because we've come across some information on a Revenant Sire and where these people are disappearing from. Because, like, I think what I recall, like, there were people from Gromerstown going missing as well, weren't there?
Yes.
So I was wondering if maybe you had some information of anyone we could talk to about that.
Well, so there's been a few weird stories coming through Gromers in the past few weeks. And it's tough to gauge what's exactly happening. There's something happened in Anvilgard recently, something monumental. I don't know exactly what. There's different people saying different things. And there's been a large exodus of privateers and smugglers from Anvilgard, as it's apparently under new management, essentially. So in terms of talk, it's tough to figure out what's hearsay and what's actually going on. But if you're looking for an Idaneth, that's tough. They tend to keep to themselves. I did know that on one of the Black Arcs they had a Deepkin helmsman, but that's kind of the extent of it.
Do you know where we can find that person?
Now, the Shurden left Anvilgard 2 weeks ago, making its way outwards. I have not heard anything about it since.
Oh, shit.
Okay, and do you have any idea of, like you said, there's a lot of things coming out of Anvilgard, but, like, what are the rumors? Like, what have you heard?
Well, the rumor is that the Shadow Queen Marathi has taken over the city entirely and cast out the Stormcast that were there before. Now, most of our traders and activity come from Anvilgard and come across the Searing Sea to Slagmar Isles. So you can imagine that kind of disruption is throwing our networks into a bit of disarray. Aside from that, to be completely honest, ever since we lost our fleet and Barak Nar's expeditionary force has kind of become more dominant here, I've taken some time away from the more formal communications I would normally have with the Skyports. But what I could do is I could ask around a little bit more for you.
That would be really, really helpful. I would really, really appreciate that, Braca, so much.
Yep. Okay.
So where is Anvilgard? Is it somewhere on the map that we haven't gone to, or is it like outside of this?
It's outside the map. So basically, you all set out from Anvilgard originally on Torland to come to Slagmar Isles.
Okay.
It's kind of it's a free city, a
Not
very, very
free
large
anymore.
one. Well, not so free anymore. But most of the people, a lot of the settlers coming from what's called the Great Parch, which is kind of like the primary continent in Akshi that has been settled. Most people coming from there would be going to the Slagmar Isles. So it's kind of the most common port of call for this area.
And yeah, I said, oh shit, when they've mentioned the Shurdan, because the Shurdan is the black art that Falas is from.
Oh! Well, that's nice.
Ooh.
Frostglade asks,
Where did the Shuriken go, do you know?
Well, rumor has it that they had made a deal with the Barak Nar fleet to supply some kind of defoliant from Anvilgard itself. They brought it out here, and I believe a trade was going to happen, or maybe has happened by now. I'm not sure, but yes, they were giving them defoliant canisters.
what's defoliant?
It's an herbicide.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Okay, so we don't know where they went necessarily.
No.
Okay.
No. That's super helpful, Braca. I think maybe we'll stay for like a day or so to give you some time to ask around. Would you like And then like she kind of like, pushes her toe into the floor and kind of like grounds her foot into the ground. It's like, would you maybe want to like join us on Torlin and in Storm's Mandate? Because you're super helpful before. And if you're not up to much,
Like, if you're not doing anything.
if you're not doing anything.
Well, I've been keeping busy. And she takes another cup of her hot bean water and kind of like, has a smile only in her eyes. I suppose I could be persuaded if the right opportunity came by, though.
Frostglade says,
You can bring your friends.
Oh, those aren't my friends.
Oh.
Well, think on it, and maybe we'll meet up later on tonight for a drink at that inn that I forgot the name of.
Yeah, sure. You can give her some time, and she'll ask around and everything. All of you folks want to meet up for dinner tonight?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the idea? Okay.
Yeah,
sure.
but no lines.
I'll call ahead.
I'll make reservations.